All right, so which community platforms are best for you? Well, this is my review rundown of Discord, Slack, Mighty Networks, Discourse, Circle, BuddyBoss, Facebook groups, Reddit, and Skool. And stick around to the end of the video for my overall thoughts and recommendations. Now, first up is Discord, and it's kind of like the digital version of a pub where everyone's talking at once. Now, the good bits is that it's fantastic for real-time chat. It makes it super easy to build intimate connections in your community. And with more features than a Swiss Army knife, automation tools galore, and affordable pricing, it's kind of hard to resist Discord. Plus, those mobile notifications are awesome for pulling people back in, and it's ideal for fast-paced discussions and keeping momentum alive within your community. But then there's the interface. It's kind of like a maze where every turn leads to more confusion, and new users often find that Discord is kind of like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. It can all feel just a bit overwhelming, like trying to drink from a fire hose. And worse still, there's no way to collect email addresses from registrations, and for businesses, that's a massive miss. And it's kind of got a bit of a whiff that it's really built for gamers and software developers. So if you're running a consumer-focused community, you might need to do some extra legwork to make Discord feel like home. So I'm going to give Discord a 7 out of 10. It's a solid choice for a feature-packed real-time chat platform, but it's primarily intended towards gamers and technical developer communities. Okay, so now let's talk about Slack. So imagine Discord, but wearing a business suit. Slack is feature-rich, it's beautifully simple, much easier than Discord to use, and it's wildly popular among companies. The free plan is very generous, and it supports bots and automation pretty well. And again, those mobile notifications are awesome for pulling people back in. Now, Slack is great for internal teams and public professional communities who want a polished, no-fuss experience. But then there's the price. The paid version just is ridiculous. It costs a fortune. It's kind of like being charged extra for oxygen. And the free version, well, features-wise, it's great, but good luck getting any meaningful depth in the analytics. The lack of insights in those analytics can kind of make it feel like you're flying blind with Slack, especially if your community really relies on good metrics to thrive and grow. So I'm going to give Slack an 8 out of 10. It's simple, it's featureful, it's a great chat platform, and it can be used in a variety of use cases. Oh, and real quick, if you're new around here, my name is Jono, and I've helped hundreds of companies and thousands of people build dependable audience engagement and communities with less hassle and better results. But now let's move on to Mighty Networks. Now, Mighty Networks feels kind of like Discord's polished cousin. It's feature-packed and it's wonderfully easy to use. It integrates training content, events, and more seamlessly, and it's particularly well suited towards creators who are hosting workshops and courses, as it provides a centralized space to organize everything with minimal hassle. The integration of live events, Q&A sessions, and paid memberships is also a standout feature in Mighty Networks. If you want your own app, Mighty Networks can also be white-labeled, giving your brand a much more professional edge and a direct connection with your audience. This ability to create a bespoke app environment really makes it very appealing for brands who want to stand out from the pack. And Mighty Networks' focus on community-driven engagement ensures that your members feel part of a cohesive ecosystem rather than just a bunch of people who are consuming a training course or fans of a creator. However, Mighty Networks is not for everyone. The learning curve can be a bit steep for newcomers, especially those unfamiliar with managing community platforms. And customization options might leave you wanting more if you're someone who likes to tweak every single detail and refine every component of your community. Now, while Mighty Networks provides an impressive array of features, the lack of advanced flexibility in layout and branding may deter those seeking fuller control over their community. It's also worth noting that the pricing of Mighty Networks can climb quickly as you add more members or premium features. Still, for content-heavy communities, especially those focused on education and professional growth, Mighty Networks is a pretty solid choice. It shines best when it's used to foster engaged learning communities that thrive on shared resources and structured interactions. So I'm going to throw Mighty Networks a 7 out of 10. It's a great all-round platform, great features, and it can integrate pretty nicely with your brand. All right, so now let's talk about Discourse. Now, Discourse is the veteran of community platforms, a stalwart that's really stood the test of time. It's open source, it's brimming with features, and it's endlessly scalable. This makes it an excellent choice for anyone looking to build a forum with strong analytics baked in. Now, it's also very cost effective. Discourse is free to use, the code is open, but there are also hosted services that make it easy to deploy with just a few clicks. Now, Discourse is not just for surface level chatter. It's built to foster really serious discussions and long-term engagement that gets indexed on the web. Whether you're managing a niche group of enthusiasts or a larger professional audience, Discourse delivers depth and breadth in equal measure. However, it's not exactly the freshest face on the block. The interface can feel a bit clunky, a throwback to an earlier era of web design that some might find nostalgic while others find frustrating. Integrating events or training content is another area where it lags behind more modern platforms, which could limit its utility if you need a multi-purpose solution. But it has a lot of plugins that can expand what it can do too, so it may fill in the gaps there. That said, its open source nature means that you can tweak and modify to your heart's content, provided you have the technical chops or you're willing to shell out for a contractor to do it for you. Discourse's reliability and robustness make it a solid pick for communities that value substance over flash. So I'm going to give Discourse a 9 out of 10. If you're after a platform with the staying power and focus on meaningful engagement, Discourse won't let you down. All right, so now let's talk about Skool, which is kind of like the cool kid on the block. It's modern, sleek, and user-friendly, kind of like the Tesla of community platforms. Whether you're looking to host small groups, facilitate engaging discussions in much larger communities, or organize content into neat, digestible formats, Skool handles it all with ease. Its automation capabilities are solid, making repetitive tasks a breeze, and it's affordable without feeling cheap. Now, Skool strikes a pretty great balance between simplicity and functionality, and it makes it a good option for smaller, focused communities. It's particularly well suited to creators who want a straightforward tool that allows them to focus on building meaningful connections without the distraction of unnecessary complexity. Additionally, its intuitive design reduces the learning curve for members, encouraging participation and sustained engagement. However, it's not as feature-dense as something like Discord, which may leave more advanced users wanting more. The analytics could also use a bit of a boost, offering only really basic insights. So if you're running a data-driven community, you might find that lacking too. The platform's limited scalability for massive groups could also be a bit of a constraint if you plan to expand significantly. But for creators, for niche groups, or communities prioritizing quality over quantity, Skool really is a joy to work with. Its flexibility for structuring conversations and content from discussions to resource libraries really stands out. Now, if your focus is on fostering a tight-knit, highly engaged community, Skool deserves a serious look. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Now, before I get to our next platform, if you want to build consistent audience growth and engagement and do it in a way that builds genuine, lasting relationships, you should totally check out our community leadership core. We're kind of like a personal trainer for building audience engagement, helping you to figure out what works best, improving how you deliver it, and keeping you accountable to get stellar results. You can check out the link down there in the description to find out more. All right, so next up is BuddyBoss, and you can think of this as WordPress, but for communities. You've got features aplenty, automation to save you time, and a design that's entirely yours to shape. The platform is highly customizable, and it allows you to craft a really unique experience that matches your brand's personality and goals. Now, where BuddyBoss stands out is that you can integrate it seamlessly with your existing WordPress site, creating a unified experience for your audience. From forums to groups and private messaging, BuddyBoss delivers a comprehensive toolkit for community building. But of course, customization comes with a price. It's not just a financial cost, though that can add up quickly, but the sheer effort involved in doing so. You'll need to spend time fine-tuning every detail to just get it right. And let's not even talk about the upkeep of security updates, patches, and general maintenance. It can feel relentless. Running BuddyBoss can be akin to owning a classic car. It's beautiful, it's bespoke, but constantly demanding attention and resources. BuddyBoss is ideal if you've got a dedicated team or the technical expertise to manage it all without breaking a sweat. But despite its demands, BuddyBoss is a fantastic option if you've got the time and resources to invest in it. Now, if you want a tailored, high-quality community platform and don't mind rolling up your sleeves, BuddyBoss offers unmatched flexibility and potential. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Facebook groups. Now, they're free, they're familiar, and they're feature-packed. The integration with Facebook notifications is a lifesaver for engagement. It pulls members back in super easily with the subtle persistence of a dripping tap. Hosting events, sharing videos, organizing discussions are all super easy, and they're a boon for consumer-focused communities or anyone seeking quick and painless onboarding. Facebook groups are ideal for communities where convenience and accessibility matter much more than sophisticated functionality. Members already know how Facebook works, and there's no barrier of entry for joining or participating in a Facebook group. The sheer size of Facebook's user base means that your group can potentially grow fast, tapping into existing networks. But here's the catch, because Facebook is a walled garden, and you're at the mercy of Zuckerberg's whims. And let's face it, it's not exactly the go-to place for professional or business-focused communities these days. The lack of ownership over your community data is a major, major drawback. You're essentially renting space with no real claim to it. Plus, Facebook's ever-changing algorithms can make it feel like you're trying to hit a moving target when it comes to maintaining visibility. One day your posts are front and center, the next they're buried under a mountain of cat videos and political rants. It's frustratingly unpredictable. So because of this, I'm going to give Facebook groups a 4 out of 10. And then there's Reddit. Reddit is free, it's simple, and it comes with an integrated karma system that's kind of oddly addictive. Communities on Reddit thrive on shared interests and open discussion, and the barrier to entry is practically non-existent. It's a platform that's really built on the back of niche enthusiasm. Whether it's astrophysics or alpaca farming, there's definitely a subreddit out there for it. But the features are about as limited as a budget airline menu. If you want anything advanced rather than threads and upvotes, well, you're kind of out of luck with Reddit. Fancy member analytics, customization, or integration with other tools? Forget it. Reddit sticks to its minimalism. This can be frustrating for anyone looking to build something a little bit more sophisticated. Now, when you add in Reddit's hive mind culture and scarce moderation tools, sometimes you can find yourself in a bit of a pickle with Reddit, so you've got to tread carefully. The lack of robust moderation options makes it difficult to maintain a healthy community if things go south. And let's not overlook the occasional chaos. Internet drama thrives on Reddit. It's fueled by anonymity and the platform's tendency to amplify more popular opinions. Now, for niche communities that are really just focused on discussion rather than other bells and whistles, Reddit is a viable option. It's particularly effective for building grassroots engagement and reaching like-minded enthusiasts. As such, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And wrapping up, now let's talk about Skool. So Skool tries to be all things to all people. It offers decent features, fair pricing, it's pretty easy to use, and it makes it a solid option for those starting out. Skool's simplicity is one of its strongest selling points, especially for new community managers who might feel a bit daunted by more complex platforms. The learning curve is gentle, allowing you to get up and running quickly without much technical know-how. And Skool's focus on accessibility and usability ensures that users aren't overwhelmed by unnecessary bells and whistles. The platform supports courses, discussions, and member engagement in a super streamlined way, and it makes it ideal for communities that prioritize functionality over flair. However, it's a bit of a jack of all trades. It does many things well, but excels at none. The platform's broad approach means it's a generalist, but not really a specialist. So if your community has specific requirements, say advanced analytics, deep integrations, or intricate customization options, you might find Skool's offerings are a little bit shallow. Additionally, while it covers the basics, it lacks the more robust features of platforms like Mighty Networks or Discourse or Discord. Now, if you have pretty straightforward needs or you're looking for a simple, user-friendly platform, Skool is definitely worth considering. But if your ambitions stretch into more complex territory, you may need to look elsewhere for a platform that goes the extra mile. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, so after all of that, which community platform is right for you? Well, if you're building a creator community where you post your content, courses, and engage with your audience, I'd recommend Mighty Networks. If you're building a community of software developers around your product or your project, I'd recommend Discord or Discourse. If you're building a community that's designed for business professionals, such as a product management community, I'd recommend Slack. If you're building a community around a niche interest group, such as cats riding Roombas, I'd recommend Reddit or Discourse. And if you're building a community that's more local, for your family, for your friends, for your local community, I'd recommend Facebook groups. But here's the thing, none of this actually matters. Your choice of community platform is really not as consequential of a decision as you might think. There are some unbelievably successful communities out there using complicated, decrepit, old shitty community platforms, but they have amazing engagement and discussion despite what appears to be pretty old, tired tooling. What really matters is how you energize, engage, and inspire your community, the content you post, the discussions you kick off, the way you make your community members feel welcome, the way you build belonging in your community members. The best community platform in the world is absolutely useless without solid community facilitation. And if you click this video over here, I'm going to walk you step by step through 5 absolutely essential ingredients that every community needs. If you don't have these 5 ingredients, your community has a very real risk of failing. So I'll see you in that video. Let's go and have some fun.